Hi everybody, great to be broadcasting out today, and this is from the Presses number 11. Today we're talking about a book called Iwi Station. This book is an interesting book because it's developed, and it first came out around 5 years ago, and at that stage was a write-up of my experience in the Māori radio and Radio Rangitani, and I've been at it at that stage about 6 or 7 years. Also, it came at a time as we were beginning training. For example, in my case, I'd only just started to come into the radio without any training, and I think that applied to a lot of people. May have applied to a lot of people who are but what it did for me was it made me, the training made me really think about what I was doing and about the necessity to do further training, really, particularly in respect to reading. So I read a lot about radio and broadcasting in New Zealand and why it is the way it is, how it's come to be. Thought a lot about things like the internet, and also started to think a lot about the Māori broadcasting sector. For example, the Māori radio stations, Māori television, which was just sort of kicking off then, and various points in between. And those points in between were really my experience, because I've done things like I've been flying to Auckland to do the Warriors games in Māori for radio, for the Māori radio there, Rui Mai. And I was also shifting around in the sense that I spent 2 or 3 years doing things like evening shows, moving to day shows on the radio, moving from English shows to shows in Māori, and generally just moving around the station as a broadcaster. So all of those things mounted up for me, and they meant that I wanted to actually write up my experience for my own good, for my own development as a broadcaster, and I'm pretty happy with that book on that basis. There's a history of Māori radio, there's a description of a typical Māori radio station, there's a kind of a day in the life, I guess, of a Māori radio station. There's a chapter called What This All Does to People, because it is quite stressful, and there are things that need to be remembered. And also what is going on with respect to ethnic consciousness or tribal consciousness or whatever with the radio stations, such as the Iwi stations that was 25 in New Zealand or the World War at that time. So there we are. It's out there, and it's in its own way. It really is the only one out there, which is quite surprising. I think there may have been some postgraduate work done on Māori radio, but it's not turned into a book. That hasn't been turned into a book, or it isn't out there as a book to be read. And who knows, it may be in the press or something like that, but I don't know. But Iwi Station has been out for 4 or 5 years, and we're looking at a new edition. But it's always good to get feedback, so I'd really like to get any feedback from anybody who's read it. It's sold quite well over the years, and we also are now coming into a situation where the internet really is starting to have an effect, and I think the new edition will be taking that as almost as a central point. We're looking at extensive use of Facebook, for example, in the Iwi Station area, and we're also looking, I think, at video, a lot more video, and there's some very exciting things happening. So there you go, you've been with Peter Cleave, and this is, you can get Iwi Station from our library suppliers. We use Wheelers, we use a whole lot of library suppliers out there at Academy Books. So do get in touch with those library suppliers if you want to buy Iwi Station, and thanks for listening to this broadcast, watching this broadcast, which has been from the Presses number 11. 'cause you were so fine, and the idle smile. There's a door in the wall, the traffic it stops, and the rain begins to fall. Way on down the hall, Uncle Phil, he's asleep. You whispered to me about Dragon Ball Z, and the idol smiles. There is a door in the wall, the traffic it stops, and the rain begins to fall. Latrice and LaBelle, they were lost in LA, but they found a sign that was meant for you and me, and the idol smiles. There's a door in the wall, the traffic it stops, and the rain begins to fall. It was just a wish from high on a wish list, but it had to be you, because you were so fine, and the idol smiles. There is a door in the wall, the traffic it stops, and the rain begins to fall. The traffic it stops, the rain begins to fall. The traffic it stops, and the rain it begins to fall.